Welcome to today's TED Talk. 3, 2, 1. Ah! Hello. Hi, and welcome to today's TED Talk. So, hello. It is finally fall. It's finally autumn. The leaves are foliaging and oh goodness, there's so much change in the air recently. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel like with all this change in the air, it's really been igniting some things to release. I just feel like lately I've really been learning how to release and how to, what's the word? Just how to let go of the things that are not for me. And so I just wanted to talk about seasonal transitions and what that can do for us and how to listen to them, and where this particular beginning of autumn has been taking me personally, and maybe seeing if some of you guys can relate. But today I want to talk about autumn. So autumn is a really weird season in my opinion, because in autumn it's like everything's changing and there's such transition, yet it's actually a really pretty transition, yet the beauty, but if when you look at it, everything's dying and then everything's changing and things are like, preparing for the winter. It's not as cute anymore like it was in the summer. It's just fall is a transitional period. Like, think about it. Like, winter is our extreme cold and summer is our extreme hot. And the spring and the fall are honestly transitional periods of just going from A to B and back from B to A. And it's just crazy how fall happens every year, and yet it continues to feel new. I don't know why it feels new every time. I don't know why I never get used to it. It's just alarming. So, one of the things that makes autumn so weird is that, or not weird, I don't want to call it weird. One of the things that makes autumn so peculiar, that might be a word, like peculiar feeling emotionally wise, is that I feel like autumn really makes you recognize that you need a change. Like, that's the first step to transition, right? Or to any transition in life. Like, you have to recognize first that something is wrong and that something needs change. And I feel like in the fall, a lot of people come to recognize the change, that, oh, like, I don't like this, or, oh, this needs to change, or, oh, it's not summer anymore. I need to make some changes into my winter mindset, blah, 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 blah. So first is about identifying what's wrong and listening to that feeling of like, hey, something feels off and I feel a change of brewing. And being able to hear that intuition and to act upon it, and to be able to just want to be able to actually have the courage and bravery to step into the acceptance that a change is needed. Because it takes bravery to really step into change. And it takes courage to really be willing to actually do it and to actually, step into something new. Because change is typically new. We don't usually know what change is going to be. We just know whatever's going on right now can't keep happening. So that's the first step. I feel like that's one of the first reasons I feel like fall kind of feels odd and weird, because a lot of things come to the surface and you're like, wow, I guess I should change that. First you have to identify what's wrong and figure out, like, okay, I feel off. Why do I feel off? Oh, it's because A, B, C, D, blah, blah, blah. Then after that, you have to do the work to learn and recognize, what do I need in order to feel whole this season? Like, what do I need in order to feel like I am living my best life? What do I need to let go of? What do I need to welcome in? What do I need to switch around or reassemble? Or what do I need to change in order to create joy for my current self? because the joy I was able to create and curate for my past self is no longer working, because I as a person am changing into from my past self into my present self. And so what was working for that past self is not going to work for my present self, because I've changed and there's things about me that I've let go and that I've welcomed in. And now I need to change my environment and the things around me in order to create a stable environment for the present self. So that is the second step. Is finding what is the medicine I need to stop feeling off. Because I know for me personally, I've been feeling off like for a bit about a bunch of different things, and I came to recognize, oh, it's just fall. Like, it's just autumn. Like, oh, everyone's feeling this way. It's not just me. Like, especially feeling like you're in a kind of a muddy, mucky, confusing gray area. That's how you know change is happening. When you're like, I don't know. And sometimes it can feel easy to just get stuck. Like, I don't know what to do with this. I don't know how does one find the medicine to the change? How does one even identify what's wrong? How does one even go past that and even learn, okay, I know what's wrong. What do I need to fix it? Like, that whole step and era honestly sometimes feels like the hardest part, because there's no set Google or a set Chat GPT like thing you can do to actually find these answers. And it really takes like having to look deep into yourself. And everyone's different. Everyone requires different things. For me, it was a mixture of prayer and journaling. For some people, it's talking it out with loved ones. For other people, it's just going on a walk in nature and taking deep breaths. For some people, it's meditation. For some people, it's stretching. It really depends on you. But what I've come to recognize is that I always, at least for me personally, the answer is always within. And I know that is a very corny statement, but doing whatever you need to do to pause, like to have a deep pause and look deep into yourself, and to just have silence internally so you can just hear what it is like that you're being told, what it is your intuition is feeling, what it is that what's going on. I think that is really where the best place to start, I think. Because I think it becomes easy to get washed away in the sea of, oh, I don't like this feeling, I just want to escape it, I don't know what to do, I'm confused, it can get really easy to get tunnel vision and get lost in a place like that. So something that I feel like is helpful is to do whatever you need to do in order to achieve the silence, like the internal silence. And when you're in that internal silence, taking the time to just think about how you've been feeling, and just think about, what would help me to stop feeling that way? And the first thing that comes to mind, the first few things that come to mind, just keep note of them and see if that's possibly the answer. But like I said, I can't give you the exact formula. You're going to have to do whatever you need to do to look within yourself to find that answer. But I'm not here to give answers. I'm here to share my experience so that maybe someone can relate. But after you figure out what the medicine is that you need, then I feel like once you realize what you need and what needs to come next, then begin step 3 of, okay, now I need to learn how to let go of the things that no longer serve me. Because it's not really going to work for us to welcome in new, exciting energy when there is still old, stagnant energy present. And a pattern I've come to see in life is that when we let go of the things that are no longer serving us, it's almost typically not instantaneous, but really soon after, typically that thing that was let go is replaced with something that brings a whole new sense of life to you. Whether that's letting go of a person, and then like a whole new person comes around and they give you a sense, like a new view, refreshing view on life. But yeah, it's all about letting whatever it is go. And also you have to recognize what is it that you need to let go, which requires one to be silent with self and to really reflect on what is and is not working, what does and does not feel good to the nervous system and all that. So I know for me personally, there were a few things that I personally have been trying to learn how to let go of and release in this season. And I'm going to share a few with y'all just to give y'all a taste. A few things I've been doing my best to release so that I can welcome in new energy. Things like hurrying past my joy. Sometimes I said I wouldn't get into it. But yeah, like rushing past my joy, not taking my time with myself, the way that I take my time with other people. That's something I'm trying to let go of. I'm trying to let go of hesitation to express freely. I think I am doing my best to learn how to just flowingly express versus like having to put it through all these boxes to make sure it's to make sure it is what I want before it gets out of my mind into the real world. I'm trying to also get over like creative stagnation from overthinking. I think a lot of times I can really want to create something and then I'll try and think about all these things that have to do with it, and then I'll end up not creating it because I got lost in the sea of thought. And that's something I'm trying to let go of, which also ends up leading into like procrastination from decision fatigue, and just procrastination in general from just trying to figure out what should I be doing and what shouldn't I be doing, and what could I be doing that serves my greater good. Are the things that I want to do the things that I need to be doing? How do I make the things that I want to do match the things that I know that I need to be doing? There's a whole stream of consciousness that comes from it. That's just an example of some things that I've been doing my best to release. And trust me, there's more. But those are just a few things I had on my mind and in my notes. So after we let go of what it is that we feel like we need to let go of, and that process looks very different for a lot of people, I'll definitely say. And especially it just depends on what you're letting go of too. So that process can be however long it needs to be for you to truly let it go. But one thing I will say is that it is always our choice if we're going to let it go or not. Even things that feel like we don't have a choice, they're like, oh, I'm going to do it anyway. We have to recognize there is still a choice in that. And addiction is a real thing. Abuse when it comes to addiction and all that's a real thing. I'm not belittling that. But what I'm saying is that when it comes to just like letting go of things that are no longer serving us, we have to emphasize the letting go because you're holding on, So, and that clutch, that grasp is tighter or looser for everyone depending on what they're going through. So say all that to say that once we find a way to choose to let go of what no longer serves us, then we have to learn how to welcome in the things that do serve us and how to nurture those things so that they don't, so that we are able to treat it correctly in a way that's going to benefit us. And so that can look like a lot of things. For me personally, as an example, something I'm trying to welcome into my life more is... What am I trying to welcome into my life more? So something I'm trying to let go of is creative stagnation or procrastination. And in order to let go of that, I'm trying to step deeper into like listening to the creative flow and just creating when I get the idea, or like as soon as the idea hits my brain and my brain latches on like, oh, I like that idea. I would love to be able to just flow that creativity out and to be able to just get it out into the world, at least something out into the world soon. And not just sit on it and try to like think about it so much that it never gets out into the world. Like there are projects that I've been bubbling on for much too long that are really great ideas, but because there's been a lot of overthinking that created stagnation and procrastination, and those projects are still sitting there with potential. So I am really interested in just seeing how I'm going to be able to step deeper into flowing into my creativity and having less hesitation. And some ways I'm doing that is I recently just entered a, what is it? How would you, it's not an art show, but basically I have to create an installation by a certain deadline, and I've already signed up to be part of the show. So like things like that, I'm giving myself deadlines. I just reached out to a few acquaintances to see if they would be interested in creating together, just like in a co-working space way where like we're all in our doing our own individual things, but we're all just in the same space, and we could ask for recommendations or a fresh view or a fresh perspective, or just be in the energy of creating. And so I'm doing the work that I need in order to change my environment to nurture this new thing that I want to enter into my life. And it also, is helping me to continue to push away the thing I'm trying to let go of, which is that creative stagnation. Because it's really hard to be creatively to procrastinate creatively when I have a show coming up and I'm about to be creating next to people, and I am stepping deeper into all these different things. So yeah, it really does take a sense of self-discipline, time management. It takes so many different skills in order to have like a flowing process of release and welcoming in the new. But I would say those are basically the main steps to this whole release thing. And I feel like all of these steps have been really helpful when it comes to just recognizing how to release something, how to bury it down, or not bury it down, but how to release something, put it to the side, push it away, and go about doing what's going to help. And just to review the steps, first, you have to identify what's wrong. Why do I feel weird? What's going on? And why am I feeling this way, and getting to the root of why you're feeling off or odd. Step 2 is figuring out, okay, I feel odd. I know that I feel weird now. I know that I don't like how I feel. Now, what do I need in order to feel better? What do I need in order to feel like myself again? What do I need in this new season? What is the medicine I require? That would be step 2. Step 3, once we figure out what change is needed, then it's going to be time to learn, how does one let go of the old? How does one let go of what no longer serves us? And how can one actively let that go in a way to where we're not going to want to go and grab it right back? Once we learn how to say no to things that no longer serve us, then we can go to step 4 and learn how to welcome in the things that are serving us, and how do we nurture those things so that they stay and we are able to grow with them and blossom and all of that. And those are the 4 stages really to releasing in this whole autumn transformation era. And how to, at least those are the steps that I've identified, at least in my own life, of what I need to be doing right now. Because for a while I've been trying to figure out what's going on, why do I feel weird, how do I change it, how do I go about it, and how do I figure out what I need. Now that I know what I need, how do I nurture it and keep it here? And all in all, this whole process is basically just to elevate in alignment, And it's interesting to think that it takes so much. It's interesting to think that at the beginning of this process, this whole process can feel like such a big hill. It can feel like so much work. It can feel like, wow. It can feel like looking up at the top of at the Empire State Building and being like, dang, so I got to get all the way up there. Especially because I feel like when you first just feel that something's off, it's just such a mucky, sticky place that it's like, okay, is it possible for me to get unstuck? Is escape possible? Can I is there a way to elevate? How do I even begin to identify what's wrong? And I'm just here to tell you that everything is transformable. Everything's transformable. You are never fully, truly, 100% stuck. However, it can very, very easily feel that way. And it can very easily feel like, you know, that there is no answer, that things are just things, this is just the way things are. And, you know, everyone's situation is very different. But yeah, there's always a way. There's always a way. Please remember that. If you don't take anything from this video, just remember that there is always a way. I can't always tell you what those ways are, or depend, you know, everyone's situation is different, but that is what I feel I was called to express in this video. Well, thank you so much for coming to my TED Talk. I'm really happy to be making another video and expressing another life lesson. I would love to start doing more of these and just making it more casual. But this whole video in itself is actually part of my own process of releasing creative stagnation and just stepping into projects and just doing creative projects. I was literally chilling on the couch, and then I just had the knowing downloaded into me to just go and create a podcast. And I listened, and I'm just really glad to start seeing this change and to just start listening to the little whisper I hear in my soul that just like, or my intuition, one would say, God, my intuition, you can call it whatever you want to call it. But I'm really glad that I listened because I haven't made a podcast video in a while, and I'm excited. So yes, thank you so much for listening. Hopefully you guys see me again soon. And yes, I hope that you are able to take something from this video and use it as a catalyst for your own change, and maybe, you know, be inspired, share it with a friend, do whatever you do. Love you guys. I am so grateful to just be here, and I'm really happy about this whole space, like how this all turned out. This is so cute. I'm really excited to do more of these, so